What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to talk about the story Cain and Abel. I'm not super religious. I don't think you have to be to derive some value from it. So whether you're atheist or, super Christian or whatever it is, I think there's something to learn from this story. And I'll just get right into it. So Cain and Abel are brothers, the son of Adam and Eve. Abel's a farmer, and Cain is the farmer, Abel's a shepherd. And to appease God, and let's just take a stop right there. Your perception of the word God doesn't have to be a man in the sky or anything like that. Let's just say it's the ultimate goal, the perfect goal, or the best good, or the prime mode of being to be in, to live in, or whatever it is for you. But Abel sacrifices his best lamb, his best one out of all the ones he has. He gives that up to God. And people, people that look at the story literally, they're like, okay, you've already lost me. There's sacrificing lambs. What does that have to do with anything? But it's not really that hard of a concept. Just think about it. Sacrifice. Giving up something that you have in hopes to get something that you want. And what does Abel do? He sacrifices his best lamb. He sacrifices adequately to get to the goal, or to the mode of being, or to God, or whatever you perceive that word. He sacrifices his very best to get there. It would just be like, okay, you want to be a professional athlete, that means I have to sacrifice some time to exercise and some bad eating choices, things like that. This isn't too crazy of a concept so far. And then Cain, he looks at Abel like he's an idiot. He's like, why are you giving up the best that we have? He just gives up, and then Cain ends up sacrificing his some straw, some leftover straw, while he keeps like the bulk of his primary harvest because he's a farmer. And this doesn't catch fire, while Abel's lamb does catch fire. Meaning, Cain's sacrificing inadequately. He's not giving up the right things to achieve what he really wants to achieve. It'd be like, it's like you say you want this, that you say that you want to get A or B, whatever your goal is, but then you act in a bunch of ways that will inevitably result in you not getting that. It would be like, this is a template that I like to use, that I understand, that I can always go back to because I used to be an addict. But it'd be like, you say you want to be clean, but you still hang around the same people, you still, run out and buy the drug, and you still ultimately put it in your, put it up to your mouth or in your arm or whatever you do, or up your nose. Meaning that you're not actually sacrificing what you need to sacrifice to get there. So what happens to Cain and Abel? Basically, God tells Cain that, yeah, it's inadequate, and he becomes resentful. He becomes angry. And he takes it out on Abel. He ends up killing Abel in the story, his brother. And this is also true. I understand, when people sometimes don't get the things that they want, even if they have a causal role that they're playing in their own suffering, you know what I mean? Even if they're kind of doing it to themselves, which Cain kind of was, even if they become resentful towards those that are adequately sacrificing and reaping the benefits of that and living happily and receiving what they actually are seeking. So he kills Abel. And this, again, I'll go back to the drug thing. One time I was in high school and I was just a miserable addict, and I had, no friends. And there was this one girl in my class, and she was like, always seemed really happy. And I just flat out told her one day, you piss me off because you're happy. Like, usually someone's not going to be that transparent with their resentment. Usually they'll project it in a different angle, like, oh, like, they won't say it flat out like that. But that's the best example I can give, because it was just a flat out transparent answer. Why would I be angry that someone's happy? Oh, maybe because I'm not. You get what I'm saying? And ultimately, that's most of the time, if people are mean or, for no good reason, ultimately it means that they're in pain from something. And I know, and when you look at people that are acting like that, from that perspective, it generates empathy instead of like anger. I'm not saying you put up with their shit or anything, but it's just another way to look at it, and you might actually be able to help, because that type of behavior usually is a cry for help. Unless you outright do something to piss somebody off, like you go up to someone, like smack them in the face, then yeah, they're not probably mad about their life situation. They're probably mad at you because you smacked them in the face. But a lot of the times, if people are projecting their problems onto the outside world, and this is true, I guarantee it. But so Cain kills Abel. He becomes resentful, and he gets to live on too, which is the crazy part for me. It usually seems like the good behavior, the behavior that we know is good, isn't rewarded in the sense of how we're used to being rewarded. Do you know what I mean? Like, because, like, think about it. What happens to Jesus? He gets crucified. Think of all, like, the Christ-like people throughout history. How does the world end up treating them? Not so good. Jesus crucified, John Kennedy shot in the head, Martin Luther King shot, John Lennon shot, Malcolm X shot, that type of stuff. But I mean, there's a different type of reward, there's a different type of satisfaction from, see, this is exactly it. Cain gets to keep the earthly material rewards from not adequately sacrificing, and he gets to avoid responsibility for his own suffering. So I guess that's a type of reward, but it's not sustainable, and it's not an actual answer that's going to provide you any actual solution. While Abel does sacrifice the material, and he gets the sense of confidence and the sense of inner peace that I think a lot of people are actually looking for, and they just can't place their finger on it. And I think, it's not bad to want things in this world. You can't live in another world all the time. You got to be grounded, but it's like, once again, placing your happiness dependent on things like outside of yourself is just ultimately a way to not have any longevity in your happiness or in your confidence or your motivation. You have to be able to give that to yourself, and then once you can do that, you can give it to others. I know I kind of jumped all over the place. Thank you guys for watching. I'm trying to keep this video short. Stay tuned for more.